Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I have an amazing video for you guys today. It comes from investorplace.com, and this author, Luke Largo, says he wrote this article, and I think you're really gonna like it. He does not believe that there is a housing market crash coming, and it's kind of like, well, I kind of told you what the article is about, but basically he also talks about how because people believe that there's a housing market crash coming, a lot of stocks that deal in housing have dropped, and he believes these are creating a great opportunity for you to buy these stocks at a very cheap level. So basically the article starts with fears of a housing market crash are creating huge opportunities, right? So he believes the market is normalizing, not crashing, and it still sustains healthy growth trends over the next few years. So he does not believe there's a crash coming at all. The desire to buy a home is still about triple where it was during previous periods of home price declines. It's a big deal. He makes good points here. We're currently in the most undersupplied housing market in history, and this is kind of a big one for me because I agree. Because of everything that's happening, it has definitely created a supply issue. People don't want to let go of their houses, so and it's keeping the house prices pretty high. With the supply this low and the demands are still pretty robust, it's almost impossible that we see home prices take a big hit. So he makes really good points, and a lot of people have been saying this, that basically we're not going to see '08 on this crash, but people do feel like things are going to slow down a little bit. So here, I'll read this paragraph. It is quite easy to see why folks think the housing market crash is just around the corner. Home prices surged during the pandemic to unfathomable levels, but due to ultra low mortgage rates, those home prices were still quasi-affordable. Now those mortgage rates are spiking and the home affordability is crashing. As a result, lots of buyers are backing out of the market, and you're seeing lots of price cuts for homes for sale, and existing home sales are dropping precipitously. This is certainly starting to feel like the beginning of a housing crash, but it's not. Far from it. So this is where he kind of talks about how it's different from '08. He says, talking heads are saying that the housing market is about to crash like 2008 all over again. But we're seeing today that that's the farthest thing from a 2008 repeat. Instead, the market is normalizing, not crashing, and it's sustained healthy growth trends over the next few years. And in fact, we talked about these housing market movements in our latest episode of Hypergrowth Investing. The opportunity that Wall Street has given into the fears of a housing market crash, and it's left certain housing-related stocks trending at a very cheap valuations. Once time proves that these crash fears are baseless, those stocks are going to go higher. So basically, they talk about these three stocks that they believe that at these current prices, they're totally undervalued. And, they could be down because the overall market is going down. So this is kind of like, I kind of get what they're saying, that if he believes that if the housing market stays strong, then these stocks are going to, double, triple. Now, as we keep reading the article down here, he kind of makes a case for, why the housing market is still strong. A lot of folks, he writes, a lot of folks are concerned about the failing demand for homes, but those concerns are very premature. When it comes to demands, there are two inputs, desire and ability. Do people want to buy the house? Can they afford it? And he still thinks the answer for both is yes. So this is a great article, guys. This is basically saying that the prices are going to slow down, but they're just going to normalize. So we might see a 0% growth like for the next year, but then it's just going to kind of start jumping back up. So check this out. In short, the last time home prices declined, the housing market supply was about 4 times bigger than it is today. We had 4 times the number of homes for sale on the market, and it took 4 times longer to clear those homes than it does today. With the supply this low, the demand's still pretty robust. It is almost impossible that we see home prices take a big hit. Could they fall? Yes, but not by much. There simply is too much demand chasing too few homes to warrant a big price drop. The final words he says here, I want to show you this one part. Okay, here you go. Look, home price growth will moderate significantly. Currently, prices are rising about 15% year over year since 1960. The average annual home price growth rate has been around 5%. We think we undershoot that for the first few quarters and fall 0 to 2% growth until the affordability increases. Then we'll get right back to the historically normal 5% growth rate. So expect a housing market to slow down over the next 12 months, followed by reassumption of historically normal growth trends. And what they are basically saying is that if that happens, these stocks that they're telling you about over here will shoot up like crazy. Now that article I think makes really good points. You know, the idea is going to be, you know, what are the effects of printing all the money that we printed, you know, in the United States and across the world, and what are the shutdowns for COVID, you know, what impact are those going to have? And to a lot of us, we might think like, oh, that was 2 years ago, like what's the big deal? Well, the big deal is that a lot of companies got stunned by that, and we're gonna see the effects of that. We're gonna see the effects because, again, when the feds lend out money to the banks at basically zero, and then the banks lend it to us for a very low percentage, that is basically you're fueling. It's like throwing gasoline into a fire, and now you cannot keep the fire like burning super duper hot, right? At one point you gotta stop feeding it, right, and let the fire come to its normal levels. And right now, you know, they finally stopped that, you know, feeding the fire. We're gonna start seeing the effects of that. So I kind of agree with this person, but in some points, but I'm gonna say that I believe housing is going to go down, you know, like I'm thinking 25 to 50% in some areas. So that's kind of like, and now I'm not a financial advisor, but I do these videos for fun. But you know, I'm seeing that there is going to be a bigger correction. I just don't think it's going to happen overnight. I think it's going to happen over time. So I'm thinking that in like 2 years, the prices will be, you know, low, 2 to 3 years. So I don't totally agree with this article. What do you guys think? Go ahead and comment below. Now, if you guys do like these videos, don't forget to smash that subscribe button and go ahead and like and leave a comment. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you on the next video.